Well, it just started to rain as I was going behind the gate with Freedom Hill. Happy to leave and be home in a little while, and an early finish. 8. I'll be done before 8:30 on Saturday night, so that's good. We got a couple more to go. Rose Run, AJ and Trosa tonight. We'll talk about them tomorrow morning. AJ he's in that tough spot. You know, can he pace 53? Can he pace 54? That's what he's going to need to pace to be competitive in those classes. And I don't want to just keep pulling the horses out of Harry's barn and bringing them over to Ohio. But at the same time, I'll give him enough room to prove the horse, not Harry, to prove what he is and what he isn't. And then at that point, then we'll make a decision. So I'm skeptical about tonight. I don't know if they go in 55 and he gets bottled up. Great. I mean, I don't really want to get away last and have him pace. Even if he shows 27-2 on the end of it and passes one horse, it's not really what I'm looking for. I have no interest in getting our horses ready to run them up the wood and hope they can do good. They can either can or they cannot. And if they cannot, we better find a place where they can. And that is that. So we'll see how he races tonight, regardless of how he does. I mean, if he is a 54, 55 pacer, there's a spot for him. I mean, surely to Jesus. I just raced Freedom, I did race Freedom Hill, but I raced Fire and Shine, and she's quite a ways reserved from 54, 55. So let's get right into tonight, all right? I get here tonight. Fire and Shine's got the outside. Now, there has been a virus going through our barn, and it hasn't lingered long. It's affected some horses differently. No temperature. They don't really come off their feed. No coughing. But their hind legs stock up just a little bit, ever so slightly. And we saw it with Fire and Shine this week. I thought, I'm not going to make excuses for her. She showed very little mucus and maybe a 1 out of 5 for blood. So we did put her on Lasix. Dr. Latessa is there till about the 4th race every night. Or his Lake Equine crew. So we did put Fire and Shine on Lasix. Is she going to come out smoking next week on Lasix? She draws inside. We'll have her trained up. We'll make sure her blood's all right. And she will be firing on every cylinder available next weekend. However many that may be, I don't know. I don't think we've ever talked about Fire and Shine being a killer. Nice, handy little filly. At the end of the season last year was her best work. She raced well. She can do okay. She's probably not a Buckeye filly. Right? She's just an overnight filly, and we'll see where that leads. I don't mind her, right? She's a decent filly, doesn't wear any boots. She's a little rough on herself throughout the week. She's hot, can get excitable. But tonight, I went out and walked her around. She didn't bother me any. I thought she raced terrible, but we'll see if we can improve on that next week. Did the blood play a role? Of course it did. Can't have a 1 out of 5 and say, well, it didn't bother her. Of course it did. So we can plug that hole. I had said to Jason last year, I know her feet bothered her, but we did race her in 4 aluminums her last 2 starts. Why don't we go back to 4 aluminums? Her hobbles were a tiny bit heavier this year than last year. We do have a pair of the light hobbles. Let's go to those hobbles. In the replay, it looked like the hobbles fit her okay, but maybe we're a hair snug. Last year they were quite long. Why don't we go to a lighter hobble, let them out a hole or two? We need to find every way we can to help her out, just get a little bit more speed out of her. And again, with an open bridle, getting away at the back. She didn't want to play it from there last year, and she's not going to want to play from there this year. Close her up a little bit, hood with cups, head pull a Murphy blind on the left, earplugs in. Draw south of 6 would be good. Make sure her blood is good. Make sure she's trained up. Put her on Lasix. Likely to see a much better effort from her in there next week. That would be my prediction. We come out with Freedom Hill again. Jason came to me this afternoon. He said she trained great this week. She was coming in good, but Anthony, her hind legs are a little bit stocked up. Does she have a temperature? No. Any mucus? No. He said nothing. She ate. She feels good. She's jumping around her stall, but they are a little filled up. Okay. Well, we'll see how she warms up. Warmed up good. No mucus in her nose. Now we had the chain in her mouth, ear hood on her, but she was a little flat tonight, right? There's a feeling they trained in 2-1, qualified in 2-4. I was expecting, if I had a singer screaming on the end of it, chasing down Hunter, I'd be like, good mile from her. It's a good start. But she did, I will say this, she could have been a very flat 4th. She could have been a decent, okay 3rd, but instead she was a okay second. She got her work done. She knew what she had to do. You do whatever you can, and she did it. So regardless, we'll take her blood on Monday also. Make sure she's okay. Not a super strong performance from her, but first start of the year. Right? It is windy. It is rainy. Most of all, she was second. Let's get another crack at them next week also. So we'll wait for blood work to come back for Fire and Shine and Freedom Hill, but I knowing what I know about Fire and Shine, she'll be better next week. We need to draw decent. Knowing what I know about Freedom Hill, she will be better next week. And earplugs, turn that chain into a snake cord, right? With her, and she'll be just fine. So, not disappointed, I guess, overall. The bar for Fire and Shine is always set low. She's just an overnight filly, but she'll be a better overnight filly next week. And Fire and Shine's got a long season ahead of her, and that was an okay first start. Now, as I said, hopeful with AJ. I'm watching. Both him and Alexander's done. She's on her way back over here to race next week at Northfield Park. And AJ too, depending on what happens tonight and what options we have. Listen, if he finishes 1, 2, 3, it's a moot point. Not talk about it again for now. If he doesn't, what paths are available? What makes the most sense? What are we going to do? So that's where we're at right now. As I said to Harry also, Grand Slam Deal is going to race this week, and then she'll make her way to Ontario to race in the Numbers to 2. We have Rosetta likely exiting that class soon, as will Oh Hill No. So that should free up the non-winners of 2 for Grand Slam Deal very soon. Oh Hill No will get a short break also before the stakes start, and then Rosetta, as I mentioned in a video you'll hear tomorrow, just keeping all our options open for Rosetta as we move forward. So it's been a great week. Not a horrible start, not a horrible day, right? I did have my, let's say, concerns about tonight's race with Fire and Shine. I tried to race her conservatively, and she doesn't like the race like that regardless, factoring in the blood and the little bout of sickness this week. All those things combined to be beat, 10 lengths? Yeah, I can buy that. It should be better next week. So with that, I am going to let you guys go. I hope you're having a great night. Good luck to my partners on AJ and Trosa. Well, Trosa's Daniel. Good luck to him later on this evening. Then the night is over. Tomorrow we have Patrick the Piranha. Yes, he's in the Open. So it might be in like a lion, out like a lamb this week. But I'll tell you what, it's been a great run here at the stable, and I hope we can keep it going. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.